I'm a junior. I committed to CSUN 2020, spring 2020, fall 2020. Yeah, I got here spring. Yeah, I transferred from a school in New York.
Um, I'm a sophomore, freshman, like sophomore school wise, and I'm a freshman soccer wise because of the COVID year. And I committed like maybe around August of like coming into my freshman year.
For me, because I came through to America through an agency, that helped me with the transfer process. So back in my old school, I told my coach that I want to go onto the transfer portal, and then they put you on a portal so all the coaches and everybody can see you. And then from there, and you kind of like get scouted as if you would as you start college. So you go through the whole entire process again. You talk to a bunch of coaches, talk to different schools, and then you kind of pick the one you want to go to. And then, yeah. The main factor that I chose CSUN was probably because of the coach, like Coach Johnson here, who is the head coach of the track and field team. And because I wanted to study fashion, and LA and the program the school has is perfectly in line with what I want to do.
It was I wanted to play. I wanted to go somewhere where I would play, because I was still very new to the whole recruiting process. So I was still experiencing a whole bunch of new things. So when I came on my visit here, they were very friendly to my mother, which was big. They treated me well, and they showed that they wanted me more than all the other schools that had interest. And you can't beat the weather out here. It's better than New Jersey. It's more so like so there's different levels of soccer. So there's academy, there's national league. There's different levels. So the best way to get scouted would honestly be playing academy. And I started playing academy like maybe 3 months after my high school season. And you go to like college showcases and the college coaches come out. So I went down to a college showcase in Florida, and that's where I got recruited by Terry.
So the restrictions were you were not allowed to like either collaborate with any other businesses on Instagram or any social media platform. You were not allowed to use your name as profitability, so to make money off of who you are or as an athlete or as anything else. So there was a lot of restrictions, especially not just because I'm an athlete, because I'm an international student too. So it was like a double. But so yeah, it was actually pretty difficult, especially because you get a lot of offers and you kind of like need to say no to everybody because you're not allowed. So that was pretty hard.
It was like very restricted, like there's people that are bringing their universities a lot of money from publicity, and players weren't able to make money off their name, which wasn't really fair. So it was crucial. Like a lot of people always, because there was a lot of NCAA rules were not allowing you to like be a part of a company or work with someone and make profit off of it. So
in a way, like I was fine with it because I didn't actually know like when they're gonna pass it. And because I'm on full scholarship, I got everything that I mostly needed. So for me, like extra pocket money or extra things that I needed to buy was the only thing I needed to care for. So because my books are included, my housing are included, like everything that I need for school, whether it included in my scholarship, it wasn't really as necessary as just like extra money. So for me, it was okay.
I feel like they were trying to do what was best, like making sure that it's a sport, and people are not just trying to worry about just the money. So I understand where they were coming from, but like still you have to look at the other people's point of views, how like the students feel, how they can't make money off their name. I think it was around COVID when I was back home. When there was rumors going around that it was going to get passed, and then eventually did get passed. So it was it was kind of like right before I came to California too.
I think because California was one of the last states that actually passed it. I heard it back when I was in New York. I think like a year and a little bit ago, but it was only a little bit of spoken of. Like people were like, "Oh yeah, like Florida was going a little bit ahead of us, whatever, whatever." So I heard about it, but it was not really a thing that I thought it was going to be passed so fast. So yeah, everything happened. When I heard about it this year, I was like, what? It already happened? I was like, yeah, it happened like a month or two ago. I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Oh, I was for sure very happy. There were some companies that I was interested in, that I would like to work with. So I thought this was a great opportunity to get my name out there and be a part of something that's nice.
In the beginning, I was, especially because I know there's a bunch of people who like did it low key or changed their name or didn't really do it off base of like truly who they are as athletes. So when they passed it, I was really shocked, and I was like, oh, this is a great opportunity, especially for us to use our platforms as athletes to do something more with it. I have not. Like, I've gotten a lot of opportunities, people reaching out to me to either collab with them or be like a face of a jewelry store or a clothing brand or whatever. But like a month ago, I actually started my own business using my name for my business. So I kind of redirected the law that they said we can use it into something a little bit different, but more or less in the same direction.
I've been offered a couple, but I haven't really acted on it yet. I've been more focused on like school and soccer really. So I haven't really like acted on it yet. I think they realized that it's about the players and it's not just about the universities, that they're trying to make it comfortable and fair and equal to everyone. So I believe that was one of the reasons that they passed this law.
I think they saw that so many athletes have the opportunity to do a little something more than just be an NCAA track athlete. Because I know as soon like a bunch of people drop out of school to go pro, and then for the first time they can actually go into having their sponsorships and things like that. But when you're at a school, you have all those opportunities waiting for you, just sitting there, and you can't really reach it or go into it. And they saw like, oh yeah, maybe we should give them just a little bit more opportunity to be like, okay, let's give them this outreach and give them their platform to use and maybe market themselves as well. I think it's a bigger marketing platform for the NCAA as well as an athlete. So I think it's a win-win for both. I'm not really sure if the recruitment process has actually changed a lot, because I know there's two of my friends came over this year from South Africa too to study in America, and their process was more or less the same as me. So I don't think anything about the recruitment process actually changed. Like one of my friends from back home, he is a big collaborator with a bunch of businesses back home. And I think he kind of was waiting until the NCAA actually said, okay, this is fine if you can do it, to come over for him. So I think when they passed the law, they gave more people, especially like people who was already in that type of business, to be able to be an athlete, NCAA athlete, and collaborator, or someone who is in business of making profit off of that name.
I don't think I would have did anything different. I think everything I thought was well thought out. I was in agreement with my mom, and everything was good. So I think everything worked out pretty fine.
Honestly, I don't think I would change anything. I think going to my first university, it was a big learning process for me. It was something that I needed to learn about the American system and the school system, and the transfer process made me even grow up faster and become more mature and see like how to reach out. And I think the whole process of that I went through made me become a better student, made me become a better athlete, made me a better communicator and everything. So I wouldn't really necessarily change anything about like my process. I loved the process. It was not necessarily the easiest thing to walk up to my coach at my old university to be like, Coach, I want to move. Like, I need to put me on a transfer list. That was kind of probably the most like difficult thing I've ever had to do. Be like, oh yeah, put me on a transfer list. I'm sorry. Because if you go onto the transfer list, you don't know if you're actually going to go into a school that you like. So you're putting yourself a little bit at risk. So it was like it's like a 50-50. But I'm happy I did it because I'm really, really happy right now.
I feel like some of the gray areas could be like maybe players focusing more on money than really playing, because and social media plays a big part in this. They'll start focusing on their image more than what they're really there to do, which is play and get an education.
I don't really know what the gray areas are. I think like people that has been collaborating with a bunch of more businesses and things like that is probably a better example. But for me, so far, I haven't had any hiccups with anything. I think the only thing that the school requires is for you to send them through like a profile of the business to make sure they're legitimate. So I think in a way they're actually kind of supporting you more to be like, oh, you're getting into something legit and not something that is gonna make you burn out or use something for fakeness or something out there that you don't really like. So they're actually supporting you in your process more than I thought they would. And that's pretty awesome to be like, okay, let me check it out. That's good. You can do this, whatever. So that's the only thing that I would say it's probably not really necessarily a gray area. It's probably like a good thing actually. But yeah.
I think it's going to be very heavily like driven by money. Like it's driven by money now, but I think it's gonna escalate because there's like eighth graders signing like sneaker deals and different things like that. So I think as time progresses, everything's just going to keep developing and like everything's going to age faster, you know?
I think it would be used as a really big marketing scheme. I think because the more you post and the more things you use and the more platforms you reach out to, the more people see that university and see how diverse or whatever is going on there. So I think it's a good thing for schools to have athletes promoting themselves as a student athlete doing different businesses because it would open much more doors for them, getting more students, getting more athletes, and especially for the students too, so they feel comfortable being like, okay, I can do this extra, but I can still be a student athlete too, instead of just I'm just a student athlete.
One, I aspire to go pro. You know, I'm working towards that. But you know, I was always into the medical field. You know, because you're always going to need medicine in life. So I was going to follow the path. I'm a kinesiology major, so I was going to follow the path of like becoming a trainer, like a personal trainer, or somewhere down that road.
I'm looking forward to doing really, really good tracks, being a really good student. I've recently been able to have a bunch of meetings with the schools, like the business school at our school, and like their entrepreneurship programs and things. But the extra programs they have is awesome, and they have a lot of assistance and things. So I think in the next couple of years, especially like a lot of programs have internship opportunities inside of the program. And that's awesome to be able to be like, okay, I'm in my program. I don't really know what to do. And they deliver that for you. So I think in the next couple of years, I would love to get an internship, travel, and definitely be a really, really good track athlete. Hopefully the business that I just started will take flame and it would grow really, really big. And especially because the two designers that I have on my team too, because I opened up it's kind of like an agency. So because I'm a fashion major and I want to manage designers and creators of all kinds. So the two designers that I have is also part of the school. So I want my business to take flame, maybe grow, go a little bit more outside of the university. I definitely want to break the school's record in track, go to NCAA